It's Friday. We're gonna talk about what's sold. Yeah, it's Friday. I hope you sold something too. Yes, I really, really do. It's Friday.
Hi everybody, I'm back. It is Friday. So of course, like every Friday, we're going to talk about some things that sold from my eBay store this week. I am going to tell you what the item is, what I paid for it, how much I sold it for, and what the net profit is after we back out any of the fees and the cost of goods as well, of course, and also how long it took for me to sell it. And this is so that we can all decide if these are things that we want to keep selling or that we want to look for to sell in our stores. So let's go. This first one here is a prime example of things that I love to sell. Found this in a garage workshop kind of area at an estate sale. What it is it's the front panel for a vintage Westinghouse stove. You can see it has the space there for the knobs. It was in really nice condition, heavy metal, not going to break, which is great for shipping. I picked it up for just $1.34. It sold for $160, and that gave me $135.26, and it took 2 months for that one to sell. I like that kind of stuff. Don't ever skip the garage. Always look in the garage. You just never know what's going to be in there. All right, first clothing item here. This one is an Escada Sport, actually. It's a linen tank. This one I paid $4.69 for. It sold for $28, giving me $18.77, and that took 4 months to sell. Okay, here we go. Rena pot. I like a Rena pot. This one was the 7 1/4 inch skillet with lid. I paid $6.50 for it. Sold for $27, and that gave me $15.42, and that was just a month. I tell you that, Rena. Love the Rena. Okay, Rhonda Stark jacket. This was a blanket coat. I honestly bought this thinking it was just going to fly out of the store for a good amount of money. It was beautiful. But alas, it did not. This one I paid $5 for. It sold for $28, and that gave me $18.26. And that was after I lowered that price again and again and again. I got this 23 months ago. So Rhonda Stark might not be the best pickup for me again, but at least it sold and I didn't have to redonate it. It was almost coming up to that 2-year line where I redonate clothing items. So, all right. Okay, so a neighbor was, they got a new bed and they're getting rid of their old Sleep Number bed. So of course I said, well, what are you going to do with a pump? And he said, throw it away. So I'll take it. So I took that pump for free, and don't worry, he knows what I do. He was excited for me to find a new home for it. And so I got it for free. It sold for $88, and that gave me $74.74, and it just took 6 weeks for that one to go. I should tell him. Yeah, on my evening walk with Winslow, we'll go by him and let him know. Sold. All right, now this one is a Banana Republic, brand new with tags, linen. I don't think it was 100% linen. It was a linen blend, but very nice men's blazer. This one I got for $5. It sold for $65, and that gave me $50.45, and it took 10 months for that one to go. All right, here are some plates. These plates are Libby. It's their smoked glass. I think it was called the swirl plate. But I got 3 of these for just $2 at a yard sale. Sold it for $30, and that gave me $22.28, and those took 8 months to go. And those were, I tell you, the heaviest plates I've ever felt in my life. Just picking up the 3 of them, it's like, geez. But anyway, they sold, they shipped, they are there. Okay, next up here is a Bush, the brand is called, the maker is Bush Lake Industries. And as you can see, it's one of those organizers for a garage, or whatever you want to organize, but it had 25 little drawers. It was in really nice shape. I got it for just $1, and it sold for $35, giving me $27.62, and it just took 2 weeks for that one to go. I have good luck with these organizer things. Is there like a real name for this? Multi-drawer organizer. That's what I'm calling it. I really like the ones that are metal. This one was plastic, but it did have more drawers to it. So I have a metal one with less drawers that I also got at the same sale for $1. So hopefully that one will go soon too. All right, moving on. This belt was by Toomey, and see the name Toomey, you want to get it. So it was, pretty much new. You could barely tell it had ever been worn. It was $2. I sold it for $30, and that gave, I beg your pardon. There's my real life moment of the day there. I got this belt for $2.18. It sold for $28, and that gave me $21.28, and it took 6 weeks to sell. Right, here's some yarn, good old yarn. This yarn is, the company is, it's called Lang Balance yarn, and it was 100% wool. It's like a, I have so much trouble with those yarn, the yarn jargon. It was worsted wool. I got 15 balls for $15 and it sold for $55. And that gave me $31.37. And it took just a week for that yarn to go. All right, now these little ditties here, this was in that mystery box of photography equipment that I got. So they were $2 a piece, and it's called a quantum free wire. And to be honest, still I don't quite understand what they do, but I did put them up as untested. So I gave somebody a great deal on them, and I sold a lot of them. They were $2 a piece. I'm sorry, I'm losing my mind. Let me get it together. Okay, paid $2 a piece. So I'm into these 5 for $10. I took an offer for $50, and that gave me a profit of $32.40, and it took 2 months to sell. Now, I don't like selling things that I don't actually know what they do or what have you, but I found the exact same models. I disclosed that they're untested, had great pictures, and I underpriced them because I don't know if they work or what have you. Said selling as is. Somebody sent me an offer and I took it so that I could at least get my money back on them, and I did. So that's why that's my story about those. Moving on, this is a beautiful handmade double Irish chain quilt. I got this one for 93 cents. This was a house clear out that I did in the neighborhood, so everything ended up being 93 cents, which is fabulous. This quilt sold for $60, giving me $49.45, and it took 2 months for that one to sell. All right, here's some supplements. Don't overlook the supplements, for real. If they're sealed and the expiration date is far enough out that you have time to sell them and someone to use them, this is great. I got these for just $2 as a Femi Pro bladder supplement. $2 each. So it was $4 in, sold for $37, and that gave me $27.54, and it took 2 months for those to go. All right, here's the flatware of the week here. These were Oneida, and they are stainless, but I could not figure out the pattern, so I just had great pictures and description on them. I picked up this set for $5, sold for $35, and that gave me $24.14, and it took 6 months to sell. These were newer Oneida, and I do prefer to sell the older stuff, but they sold anyway. So, I always look at the Oneida. Okay, another art piece by the same artist. I had one of these go out last week. Last week it was a star with the rainbow coming out of it. This one is the sun. It was so cool. It was really three-dimensional, just really great work, plaster of Paris piece, and it was signed Michelle, 1988. I got it for $5. It sold for $60, and that gave me $45.38. And that one, I don't have my calculation. Let's see. Oh, it took 4 months to go is all. So, and I still have more pieces of this, so I'm excited to get these to their new homes. They're so cool. All right, here's some more Oneida. This is the Oneida Icarus. I was able to find the pattern on this one. I got these it's just 8 spoons. Got them for $3.49. They sold for $25, and that gave me $16.64, and those took 14 months to sell. And let me tell you, that Icarus pattern, it's huge. Yeah, those are big. I was just shocked at how long they were. But it's always good when you can figure out the pattern. The way I do it, you can take a Google Lens image of it, try it that way. You can also look on replacements and send an image in to them. That's a great resource. You can also, check out their pricing too and see what they're going for. But those are my 2 tips on how to find the pattern. All right, next up here, this is the brand is called Haiku. It's a cute little messenger bag. This one I paid $2 for, sold for $21, and that gave me $14.71, and that took 2 months to sell. All right, another belt. This is a Wrangler. It had great details. There's a braided leather and tooled leather on there. I picked it up for $5, and it did sell for $23, giving me $14.11, and it took 4 months to sell. I really thought that one would be better because of all those great details, but you can't just go by that. So, but that's okay. I made money on it. All right, now this one was I love finding these. This is a Napa Valley 100 cassette rack. It's all made out of wood. It is a vintage item, but this one was brand new. You can see it still has the wrapper on there. These go for good money. And I guess the cassette tapes are having a resurgence, which is so fun. I have right in there. I have a case full of all my cassettes from all of my years listening to cassettes. So anyway, I got this one for just $2.47. It sold for $100, and that gave me, wait, I lost my place again. Got all excited about it here. Okay, gave me $77.19, and that just took a month to sell. And don't be afraid about shipping something like this. I mean, it's pretty sturdy. Really, you just put some paper around it, some packing peanuts, something like that. Find the right box or make the right box, and you're going to be just fine on that one. Okay, now next up here is a Lucky Brand purse. So it's a patchwork denim, which is, that's a hot style, the patchwork. So this one I got for $2. It sold for $30, and that gave me $23.20, and it just took a month to sell that one. All right, now this hat was really good. This is a vintage Polo Ralph Lauren oilcloth hat, and you can see on the forehead, it has a like a leather patch, and it's, I forget what it said. It said something on there, Polo Ralph Lauren. But I got it for $9.05. It sold for $125. Made a deal with the guy. We had a couple of messages back and forth, and that gave me $98.60, and it took 5 months for that one to sell. I had 2 of them. The other one sold for a little more, but that's good money right there in the polo hat. All right, now this little guy, gosh, it was this big, tiny Jasperware piece by Schaefer and Vodder. And this one, well, it was a little like a trinket box on that one. I got it for $2, and it sold for $18.05. That's an odd number offer that they sent me. So that gave me a profit of $12.80, and it did take 5 months for that one to sell. Just a neat little thing. All right, here's another Jasperware piece, but this one is a Wedgwood. It's the blue Jasperware, and this was an ice bucket. It was so pretty. It had a silver top and bottom. Yeah, it was a very nice piece. I got this one for I got it for $1.90, so yeah, almost $2. And sold it for $40, giving me $31.34, and it just took a month for that one to go. This one did have an issue, but it didn't worry me because you couldn't tell. It was just the feet on there, that ring had come off, and you set it in there, but I disclosed that. I had pictures of it separate so they could see, and they sent me an offer, so I took it. Okay, now this hat, oh, this is fancy. It's a fancy hat right here. This was a vintage Lederer made in Paris. I'm not sure if it was croc leather, but it was croc embossed leather at least. It's a little chapeau with some rooster feathers on there in brown. Just gorgeous. Also had a net veil for the front. And that one I paid $21 for. It sold for $100, giving me $64.70, and it took 4 months for that one to sell. All right, here's some more nuts. Hero find, yes. These are those nuts that Jonathan found a while back and bought a million. Okay, so this is a 2-pack of Hampton Farms honey roasted peanuts. We got these for the 2 bags is $8.50, and they sold for $50, giving me $33.89, and those took 5 months to sell. And I think I have 2 more 2-packs, and that is it. We will be out of nuts. Okay, this is the tiniest purse. The brand is called Texas Carpetbagger. I paid $3.12 for it. Sold for $20, and that gave me $14.30 profit. It did take just a little over a year for that one to sell, so I'm not quite sure if I will pick up that brand again, but it was cute. I wanted to try it, and I did. All right, this was my favorite thing that I sold this week. Might be tied with that Westinghouse panel. This was good. I am just loving selling the vintage brass light fixtures, and I keep finding them for really good deals. So keep your eye out for these. People are redoing houses all the time. They know they have to refurbish these and rewire them. So it's not like you need to get a pristine one. They're going to polish it up, fix it up anyway. So these are Leviton was the brand on them. I got this it was 2 double wall sconces. Got them for $7.54. I accepted an offer for $125, giving me $98.87, and those just took 2 months to sell. So yeah, that's my favorite thing I started experimenting with that I will definitely stick with for a long time. The vintage light fixtures are doing me right here. Okay, let's move. Oh, Poshmark. I sold something on Poshmark. I actually sold 3 things. First item was a Cotopaxi fanny pack, hip bag, waist bag, whatever you want to call it. It's a fanny pack in my world. But I listed this, I got it for 10. Listed it for 44 because that seemed like what they were going for, and it sold immediately for $44. So my profit on that was $25. And yeah, I want to say it took like 2 hours for that one to sell. So, I mean, which is great, but maybe I should have gone a little higher. I'm not sure. Okay, so next from the Poshmark was an Eileen Fisher open front cardigan. I got it for $2. It sold for $26, and that gave me $18.80, and that only took 2 weeks to go. All right, and the last item, this is a dress. The brand is Luxe by Seraphine, and it's actually, I mean, it looks like a boho summer dress. It was beautiful. It had velvet accents, floral, real pretty. I got this one for $5.96, and it sold for $46, and that gave me $30.34, and that just took a week to sell. And the thing here with this dress is that it's made for nursing. There are little zippers on the front, so you could nurse your baby. So as soon as I saw that, I thought, well, this is something that I should try, and I'm glad I did. So I will pick up that brand again for sure. So that is it. I hope you had a great week in sales. Let me know in the comments what the best thing is, or just your favorite thing is that you sold this week. I'd love to hear about it. And thanks for watching. I'm going to see you on Monday. On Monday, you're going to see me conquer some fears because I'm going to the dirtiest estate sale I've been to in a long time. And yeah, I have an irrational fear of mice. So yeah, you'll see. Tune in on Monday. I'll see you then. Thanks for watching.